Yeah, the guys are in a very focused and determined mood. Looking forward to this run of games and understanding that, we need to show a really positive attitude and get back to winning ways, as it were.
Great. We'll go ahead and start with questions here in the room. Claudio?
Gary, good morning. When you look at a team like San Jose and pretty much maybe in a similar position that you guys are, last place in the conference, they've been conceded, 24 goals. They're minus 11, you're minus 7. I mean, the first look would say, well, maybe this is a big opportunity for Nashville. Well, every game is an opportunity. But I guess my question goes like this. Their stats might not suggest what the team they really are. They had pretty close games. They could have won.
I think you're spot on. I think there's a lot of similarities between the teams. There's been a decent output going forward. They've certainly shown that they're capable of scoring goals. They've had some good additions in the off-season. To your point, they've been in good positions in games, not dissimilar to ourselves, and have not been able to seal the deal. But what they have shown, and having looked at quite a bit of footage of them, as you can well imagine going into this one, there's a lot of appetite in the group. It certainly doesn't look as though there's a dejection or a lack of drive in the group to get things back on track. So they're capable. If we allow their attacking group of players to get into a rhythm, they're more than capable of troubling the goal. But what they have proven is that they will concede goals. So, I would suspect that both sides are going to be very keen to get at those back lines and see how they stand up on the day. So the key for us, of course, is to be as aggressive as possible, is to get ourselves in a good position, i.e. up the field, and to ask some questions. But lots of respect for what they can do going forward, for sure.
Ben?
Yeah, Gary, it feels like maybe one of the issues in attack has been, Hani's talked about this, just getting him the ball higher up the field and kind of getting him involved in the final third instead of having him dropping deeper to get on the ball. And it felt like maybe against Miami we started to see a little bit of the old version of Hani. How do you keep that going?
Well, I think to a point there, Ben, if you look back at what Hani's done well and when he's had his best run of form, he's always stayed higher up the field. And there are loads and loads of different reasons why individuals like Hani will want to drop when they see possibly the retention of the ball, maybe overloading certain areas to try and break pressure with some construction rather than being too direct. So Hani's capable of both, we know that. But to your point, when he comes deep, we take him too far away from those danger zones. Last weekend, absolutely, it looked far more aggressive. He did, the team did, opportunities, connections. There were some real positives to come out of the game. And, I think maybe not just obviously the verbalisation of, Hani, you need to be higher, the practicalities of working at that, the relationship with him and Sam are an important one, obviously, for the group. So it's not gone unnoticed, and I think he realises that if we're going to be more aggressive, if we're going to take more advantage of maybe one or two of the areas that we're getting into, then he's got to be higher up the field.
Hey Gary, last week there was another addition to the injury list with Lucas. I was just curious where he is and the rest of the players who were kind of on the way coming back, I guess, at this point.
Yeah. Lucas underwent surgery Tuesday, I think. Without going into too much detail, it ended up being a pretty difficult situation for him physically, as you can imagine, if he's going in for surgery. The time frame is a difficult one to work out at this point, but it's going to be a reasonably long-term injury with Lucas. We have Walker and Tyler have had a good week's work. They will be part of the group. That is for sure at the weekend. Obviously, all things being equal today and tomorrow. But it's certainly nice to have them back in the fold. A key for the group is not only getting them back in, but getting them moving and working and back to form. But it's certainly a big boost. Outside of that, Shaq is slightly behind those two, but has done some decent work. I would think the weekend would be a push for him, though.
Tony?
Gary, just go back to Hani. There's a chance where he goes through. He's got he plays the square ball to Sam, and I think maybe a year ago he probably slots it in the corner. In a sense, if you get him slotting out in the corner, is that kind of one of the just the small things and the confidence the rest of the group get from that can actually make all the difference in the team?
All the difference. Look, every team will be looking at how they've conceded goals, are they getting enough out of their front line. I think the keys to look at for us at the moment are in three main areas. Number one, what do we look like going forward? Are we creating opportunities and do we look threatening? I think the answer to that is yes, for the most part. There's certainly been games where we would have liked to have seen more chances, but on the back end of that, you've got to see some execution, and we need to really up the ante a little bit in terms of what we are finishing and offering the group a better opportunity to move forward. Number two, defensively, are we limiting teams in general play? What do we look like constructively? Construction of the group, obviously individuals within that, are they getting their jobs done? And I would say for the most part, that's looked pretty decent. Yes, there have been some problems again, but one of our Achilles heels right now is not open play. It's dead balls. It's those individual moments, penalties, classed as a dead ball, difficult area. And then, of course, in terms of the group, is the shape of the group, is the template and the blueprint of what we're trying to achieve right now with the ball. Does it look like we're being able to control periods of the game? Can we define and exert pressure, intensity when we want to with the ball? And is there an opportunity to manage the game when we want to? Do we control how the game is moving and shifting? Last weekend, as an example, I think we ended up almost, on level terms with a team like Miami at home with the ball. Now, we all know what you do with the ball is key, but I think it was quite a positive to come out of the game, that there were moments that we actually looked in good control of the game. So I don't think we're a million miles away. I'm looking forward to some of these injuries not only getting back, but obviously getting back to some form. I do genuinely believe that with our best group on the field, we're as competitive as any group in the league. What has been proven this year is that with teams that have invested and have got stronger, most prominently the teams outside of the postseason last year, when you're not at full strength, the lines are very fine between earning points and not.
Ross? Gary, it's an unfamiliar position for you in terms of the run of form. For you getting out of this, what are those conversations like with guys? And when you have a big leader like Walker unavailable, see part of these conversations tough to contribute on the, in a way when you're not on the pitch. Anyways, in terms of that, what are those conversations like, and really just getting yourself going again?
Yeah, look, when he was completely out of action, it's tough because, he was going through a lot of work in terms of rehab, but he's been out on the field again training the last couple of weeks. So, whether it's video meetings, been involved in training, there is a much greater presence that he has around the group. I just think in general, with the players that we've had out and that lack of continuity You know, you can throw a lot of things into the equation. They all sound like excuses right now. The bottom line is, we are a competitive group. I think we've proven that we're competitive. It's been mightily disappointing that we've squandered leads. I think the positive for the group is that we have got ourselves in good positions. Obviously, the negative for the group is that we haven't been able to hang on to that. But as I've pointed out, I have a lot of faith in the guys that we have in this building. When they're fit and healthy, I think, you know, there is a completely different look to this group. Some of the real assets and the positives that we're seeing right now are enhanced. You know, there's a light shone on certain areas at the moment that I do think, with 2 internationals coming back into the group, will certainly go a long way to helping and supporting other guys in and around there. But we run into this particular run at home, and these fixtures, certainly against a side like San Jose, who are fighting for points exactly in the same way as we are. So we've got to get the most out of these games. You know, there can't be the moaning and groaning and grumbling that, you know, we're not adding points for whatever reason. We have to find a way. The group's more than capable of that. I think the attitude and the output last weekend proves that. Individual mistakes, dead ball situations are certainly an area of our game that we've got to improve. And I think if we can just minimise those particular areas, then we would already be in a far more encouraging position. But there's still lots to work with, and certainly lots for the group to be fighting for.
Godoy, last question.
Hey Gary, you talked about the set pieces and the struggles you're having with the set pieces. There's a growing trend in football, soccer, that specialist coaches or just individuals who come in. Is that something you've considered in terms of piece coach or throw-in coaches? There's also stuff out there.
Yeah, listen, all of those conversations come up, and I know at certain points in time, I don't think we have this year in particular, but for sure I had that conversation with Mike last year. If you look back at last year, and I know I've mentioned this as well, defensively we were in a very elite category. From an attacking standpoint, if you look at the balance of goals scored and conceded, we were way in the positive. And that has been the case. I think we conceded a few more goals from dead balls the year before, but scored more goals. So we were in a, you know, still in a very positive spot. So I didn't ever feel as though that was a necessity. You know, the individuals involved, Walker's a great asset, either end of the field. So that's a big loss for sure. And it's not just about somebody putting their head on the ball and attacking the ball. It's organisation. It's that presence. It's that confidence others gain from having such an important individual at those moments. Right now, I can guarantee you that the guys are looking at that situation, corner, dead ball, whatever it may be, and their focus will be absolutely on point. They'll be trying to, you know, inspire those around them. But it's the fine details that make a difference. Do I make a step forward? Do I take a step back? Have I picked the flight of the ball up quick enough? Have I been blocked by an individual? And what is my perception of that brief second as the ball is delivered? And it's that makes such a big difference. When you second guess yourself, that's when teams take they steal a march, and one yard, half a yard, can be the difference inside the penalty box, of course. So there's been a lot of work. We certainly have the individuals that are capable of dealing with it. It's a matter of executing that now to the very best of their ability. I would say this, it's also about limiting those moments as well. When you're having a difficult time, it can be the difference between giving a corner away unnecessarily and not. And it's all of those moments that lead you down a particular path. A victory, a good performance can breathe life and confidence into a group, as we've seen on so many occasions, which is what we're fighting for.
Thank you, Coach.
Of course.
This weekend, and then how preparations have gone for you and the team this week.
Yeah, I think they have different thing now. I only know a couple players now until that time, and I think for us it's important week in everything. We have to react the more faster as possible. I think this weekend, I think for us is the day we have to win. We start to feel the pressure, and also for the other team, start to separate, in the table, and this league is long, but we know if we want to go to playoff, I think early in the season you have to win the more game you can in home, to try to be safe in the end of the season. But also for them, they think, I think, in the same way like us, they think like also this week for them is very important. They think like they have to come here to try to win also, and they have chance, and it's no easy game, because I watch San Jose to play like every single week. They play really well. They have really good player like in attacking third. I think for us is to try to improve what we do in Miami. I think we're doing really well the first 15, the first 20 minutes to press higher, to control the game a little bit. And if we're doing that one and we do it better in knowing defense, like decision, to try to make the better decision with the ball or without ball, I think we have a big chance to win this game.
Okay, we'll open up to questions. Godoy?
Aníbal, having been there with this organization, San Jose, and the way this team performs today, I was telling the coach that they are better than the stats say. I mean, San Jose is much better, just like Nashville is. How different it is for at this point for you and the team to play and actually say that you need to win this game if you take into account the rest of the season?
Yeah, like what you say, I think the stats say something and the team say different, I think, because like what I say, the way they play show like they have so many chances, they create so many chances, and they are no good luck in the last couple games, because, and also they play against Austin. In Austin they win 3-1 and they lose 4-3 in the end, but they control the game, For us, this is like signal to try to be aware, and they have signal they play better when they go away, but we have to think about us, San Jose, they come to do something, but we have to think about us, what we have to do during the field, what we have to improve, and we have to think about 3 points, because for us now it's only 3 points. If we win 3 points, we take 3 points, I think everything changed. We have different feeling Monday, next week. We have different week, that couple weeks, it's not easy for us. This is why I think this is the right week to try to take the 3 points.
Yeah, Aníbal, just kind of looking back at Miami, it felt like your team was able to create more consistent, high-quality chances than you have in other games. What were some things that you think you guys did well against Miami, and maybe how do you kind of keep those going?
I think the repress, like when we control the ball in their half and we lose the ball, I think our reaction is better than the other game. We win the ball more time in their half. This is why I think it's big improve for us. And if we continue to do that one more in home, and I think we take something for every single game. This is, I think, big part for us, like to try to keep working in that way to try to take something.
And while you've been here since the beginning of MLS for Nashville, this is probably one of the lowest, if not the lowest point form-wise for the team. What is the feeling for the guys in the locker room? Is there a lot of nervousness? Is it pressure? Is it business as usual? How was that?
No, it's not about pressure. It's about not nervous. It's a thing about the feeling is about when you play in the way we play some game. You deserve more. It's like we have chance to win against Columbus, we tie. We have chance to win against Philly, we lose. In the end, it's like why? What happened? You start to put question in your head. Like what we do right, what we don't do right. But it's about, in the end, about result. It's about take 3 points. This is why I think we talking in the locker room like, bro, it's about 3 points. It's about one game. If we win one game, everything start to change. The season is start, we know, but also the other thing is start to win. Miami has 18 points. Cincinnati have 16, 18. I don't know. If you stay lower, for sure, it's difficult for you to try to take one spot in playoff. This is why for us this week is very important. It's not about like feel pressure, but it's like we have to win. We have to win. Play good, play bad, play in different way. We have to take 3 points.
Tony?
Aníbal, you've been part of a team here that just did never lose at home, almost. It was just always would be unbeaten. You got 4 of the next 5 at the Castle. Just how important are these next 4 in your season, this 4 out of 5 at home?
I think it's very important for us in everything we want to do, because always we're talking about playoff. If we want to go playoff, it's winning home and going the road and to try to fight and to take something. This is MLS. MLS is like this, and we know we have to start to win this Saturday if we want to looking forward to try to improve. And if we don't win this Saturday, I think everything start to put more difficult. Here in the table around the team, start to feel more pressure, and this is why I think the team, the guys, they are focused to try to win these 3 points this week.
Ross?
Aníbal, how are you different now as a senior member of the squad and your experience compared to when you were with San Jose? How do you see a difference, and particularly in a situation like this where a lot of eyeballs might be looking at you like, come on, can you get us out of this as a leader in the right words?
Yes, it's a big difference. When I in San Jose, I have 25-year-old, and I'm not young, but in that time, it's my first year in San Jose. And now I have different role here, it's like more experienced player, I try to help in every single situation, outside the field, inside the field. But there, I feel like with more responsibility, during the field. This is football. This is what I say. Like, I think if we have to win something like a team, we have to take more responsibility, and this is why we have to do Saturday.
Scott, I have a last question.
Aníbal, más allá de que estamos en casa, ¿por qué debe ganar Nashville este fin de semana y cómo hacer del Castillo, el nombre que le pusiste al estadio, esa fortaleza que siempre fue antes?
¿En español? ¿La respondo? Sí. Bueno, ¿por qué debemos ganar? Creo que por responsabilidad de nosotros mismos, como jugadores, saber lo que estamos peleando. No estamos en buena posición en estos momentos, hemos jugado buenos partidos, pero bueno, como lo dices, creo que hay que hacer valer el nombre del Castillo. El Castillo últimamente no ha ido muy bien, como el año pasado o como los últimos 4 años. Creo que, como lo he dicho, solo es un partido, solo son 3 puntos. Si sacamos este partido, creo que todo de aquí en adelante marchará de otra manera, seguramente.
Aníbal, ¿la puedes repetir en inglés para el resto o quieres que te la repita?
Repítalo usted, sí.
Okay.
Sí, ya. Sí.
The question was regarding Aníbal was the person who named Geodis Park the castle. So following that, how can you continue to maintain the castle as the location where you win points? So the question was the answer was regarding we as players need to focus. We need to make sure that we get the 3 points in the stadium and come together to get the 3 points. Is, as I mentioned earlier, 1 game at a time, and it's important of this game in getting the 3 points.
Bravo, Cristi.
Sí,
Bravo, Cristi. Bravo, Cristi.
I need
Bravo, Cristi.